What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at Kenshi. I haven't played this game in 4 years. It's been a very, very long time since we've checked in on Kenshi, but since I've changed formats since then, and there's not really a whole lot going on until the end of January, it's pretty dead right now in the indie genre. I figure we're going to be doing for the next week or two a lot more checkups on like older stuff, or maybe just trying to raise awareness of things that exist up until games start releasing again. And so anyways, Kenshi, this is an open world post-apocalyptic sandbox RPG, probably the truest sandbox RPG in every sense of the word when you compare it to other games that are quote-unquote sandboxes. Kenshi is a game without a narrative. Kenshi is a game where everything you do, everything you will ever do, is all kind of just sort of emergent. Like, there's not going to be any storylines, really, that you can, like, follow. It's just an open world. And in that world, you're allowed to do caravans. You can build a city. You can be a lone swordsman who just wanders the wastelands, jumping in on things where you see fit. You can be an arbiter of justice, a bounty hunter. You can be a rancher. You can be a farmer. You can be whatever you want to be inside of this game, whatever brings you joy. And so anyways, this should be somewhat highly edited. There should be a lot of things going on. But let's dive on into some Kenshi for anybody that might not have seen it before. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I have a link for you down below in the description so that you can check that out. On top of that, I'll also have links to my Discord and my Twitch stream. I have been streaming this game for the last couple of days by the time this video goes live, so there should be a good 8 to 12 hours of content for you on Twitch TV, just in case you wanted to see a little bit more. There's only so much you can squeeze in. Like, Kenshi is a very lengthy... It's like, you know, it's a lengthy, grindy, long game to get into. And so it's very, very difficult to do any sort of video on without heavy editing. And so anyways, if you find that you are just like starving for more Kenshi content, I've got probably 8 to 12 hours of it up on Twitch by the time this video goes live. Let's dive on in. At the beginning of the game, you choose your beginning. We're not really going to worry about that entirely too much. I'm probably just going to jump straight on into the game, so that we can save some time and I can start talking about the various aspects of the game that are available to a new player and give you some of my thoughts about how to start off the game if you wanted to get moving. So I'll probably see you in there. Alright, so here we are. I've created a character. This game does have an extensive character creation with multiple races. Everybody's got different skill bonuses and whatnot based on what it is or is not that they do. I have made Buckminster Bushido, who is a random guy with just a big metal stick that's wandering around in the wasteland. I'm wearing a skirt right now. In the early game, you kind of got to decide what it is you want to do because there are paths for advancement. At any time, you can hold down the Alt key to see any loot or whatever that might be laying around. Inside this starting area, this is the default start, so every new player is going to start out inside this town. It's called the Hub. You can press M. It's located over here on kind of like the westernest area of the island. This game does have a very, very large map with loads of towns. I mean, there's ruins, there's all kinds of stuff and threats all over the place, but the number one thing you need to understand with Kenshi is that you are a nobody. At the beginning of the game, you are nothing but a victim to everyone else who exists inside this universe. The way you can weigh yourself up against other people, if you wanted to do that, is you look down in the bottom left corner and you'll see your attack, your defense, your strength, your dexterity, your toughness, and your dodging skill. You can click on any like being inside the universe and you can see what their stats look like. So like these guys up here, we can click on them. And as you can see, this is just like a normal guy that just like hangs out in town. These guards right here, you can take a look at them. They've all got like 47 attack, you know what I mean? And so like we're nobody. And it's really, really smart with Kenshi to internalize that you are just a scrub who has nothing to offer, nothing to give. You are an average person with no fighting skill, with no training, no anything, and you're setting out into the world. And so it's usually best to conduct yourself somewhat cautiously. Now, as far as activities you can do in the early game, you can wasteland wander. That's totally a valid thing that you are allowed to do. And if you just wander around, you will find conflicts, you will find fights, you will find kind of the edges of battlefields and whatnot that you can pick through in order to find loot that you can either sell or reappropriate for yourself. Spoiler alert, in the beginning of the game, you're not going to be able to make use of most of the loot because you're not trained to fight in armor. You're not trained to fight with any particular weapon. So I usually just sell off all this stuff. The other opportunity you have is mining nodes. There's a mining node right there. You can sit and you can mine for like 3 or 4 days, and that should give you enough money, which is listed right here on your HUD, to start like buying backpacks and to start buying sundries and to start buying property and like upgrading that property in order to start getting yourself sort of like a foundational base that you can operate out of. Another option is you can go to towns and you can just wait for the guards to fight like bandits that are roaming through and jump in on the fights. There you can wander around and find ruins, which usually have pretty good loot in them as long as you can avoid getting annihilated by either bandits or wildlife. But the early game is rough on Kenshi characters. That's the one thing that you need to be abundantly aware of, is that this game is very early game heavy on the challenge. That's not to say that the challenge is going to like go away over time. With Kenshi, up until you're like level 100, there's always something out there that is like a massive threat to you. But in the early game, that sort of experience is magnified because you're going to get obliterated pretty sharply anytime you go up against anything. So our character has a number of things you need to be aware of inside the UI. I already showed you the stats. Right here, this is basically the health of all of our body parts. This game does have a positional body part damage system, where when you take damage, it actually gets allocated to a certain part of your body. You can heal yourself with med kits. If any of this goes down to 0, you will either become unconscious, or in the case of stuff like a leg or an arm, you will no longer be able to use that body part until it has spent some time healing. Other things you should be aware of is if you go to the stats menu right here, you can see your character sheet. It's going to have all of your various skills. Everything in this game levels up via usage. And so that's another thing to keep in mind, is that, like, really, this is one of those games that you are expected to fail upwards at the beginning of the game. It's actually, like, shockingly difficult to die in Kenshi. Like, in the early game, if you're trying not to die, I would say to stay away from anything that eats you. So, like, wild animals and whatnot can actually kill you, because once they down you, they'll eat you. And so then you can actually die. But against, like, human enemies, it's actually pretty rare. Like, most fights in this game are to unconsciousness. They are not to the death. And so most people will just leave you laying on the side of the road unconscious and loot you, which in itself is a means to advancement, because, like, your toughness stat, for example, only goes up when you've taken a beating. And so, as you can see, like, you're going to have to take some L's in order to get your W in this game. I'm going to get started mining on this little node over here, right next to this town of Squin. It's probably going to take me about 45 minutes to mine out enough minerals to really have enough money for us to decide what we want to do next. But I'm going to do that, and I'm going to edit that process out. If anything happens in the interim, I will cut it on back in so that you can see what the game's got going on, and then we'll get right back to it. Well, conflict has come. I was mining over here, and apparently a couple of escaped convicts decided to, like, get loud and rowdy over here. Okay, maybe I clicked on one of them in order to smack them because, you know, I was bored from mining. But we are engaged in combat right now. As you can see, combat is actually animated pretty cool in this game. I like the way that combat is animated. It always feels very flowy to me, especially when you've got so many people running around taking part in it. The good news here is that this conflict is actually doing wonders for us. Every time we attack, we're getting melee attack level ups. Every time they attack us, we're learning to defend a little bit better. And so, honestly, I hope this fight goes on forever. They're not really capable of harming me because they're unarmed, and so anyways, this may actually work out long-term for some pretty sweet early-game upgrades. I'm not sure if we get XP if the attack misses. Like, I think we might only get melee attack XP when we actually hit, but I'm not totally sure about that. On the other side, we're also leveling up our toughness, which is great. That actually makes our character a much sterner target who's more difficult to bring down when it comes to fighting. Oh, I'm overweight right now. I should probably do something about that. I was gonna say, I seem to be having a really, really hard time against people who are, like, shackled and have, like, nothing else going on. Maybe I'll drop this stuff out of my inventory and we'll get better at fighting at some point. A little bit of damage going out on either side. You love to see it. I'm still getting a killer case of dead arm, but we're not even at half health on any of our body parts right now. So I think we'll probably be okay. We've just got to, like, get better at fighting. And that's... Oh, we got 2 with 1 swing. Damn, brother. You out here getting hot and spicy. We got some pantalones over here. I'll take those. What do we have over here? We got, like, a shirt. I'll take that, too. Apparently they've got prisoner shackles on. I could technically use lockpicking to level up right here, but like, I'm feeling lazy. I'm not gonna do it. We'll pick up all of our copper. Oh, never mind. Apparently we're back into the fray again. I'm doing a really bad job of knocking these people out. That's what I'm learning, is that, like, I have not knocked out anyone effectively so far. That cleave that we got off was really cool, though. As you can see, after dealing damage, this character's arm is now hanging on by a thread. And honestly, I don't even know if she's capable of attacking. I'm pretty sure if you disable someone's left arm in this game, they can't attack anymore. For whatever reason, everything always seems to come back to the left arm in this game. And there's another one down right there. So, like, don't get your left arm cut off. That's like a surefire way to make your character super useless. All right, and like that, the bandit villains have been taken care of. I mean, somebody already took care of them before me, because these guys are bandits and they have the escaped slave tag. So that means that these bandits got arrested somewhere and then law enforcement sold them into slavery as a punishment. And then they jumped the guy that bought them and escaped, but they've still got the leg manacles or the shackles on or whatever. And so that was a nice little training opportunity. They'll more than likely, like, heal up, especially this guy will more than likely heal up. But not bad. We got 5 melee defense levels, which is nothing to sneeze at. We got 1 blunt skill, so that's not too bad. And then we got 3 melee attacks, so that's pretty good. In addition, from mining, I got 11 laboring right there, and it let me pass time till morning because, honestly, I had to wait for the shops to open or whatever anyways. Let's head on into town, but first, notice something. If you're a new player, I'm overloaded in my inventory right now, and you see that? My strength is leveling up as you're moving, so, like, actual increases happen pretty rapidly. Like, right there, you can see it going on up. And so anyways, like, logical things in this game, like running with too much in your inventory and stuff like that, actually do kind of affect your strength and all that other things. And I highly recommend that you occasionally, if you're trying to maximize your performance in-game, you should definitely be doing some amount of strength training and whatnot. This is the town of Squin. This is going to be the first town that most new players run into when they first get here. I would keep an eye on it. It's not uncommon for bandits with bounties on their heads to be knocked unconscious by the guards all around the walls. And if you just carry them to not this building, yes, this building. If you carry them to this building right here, you can turn them into the law enforcement sheriff, and you can just get paid for, like, doing nothing. It's a great way to earn early game money. It's just collecting bodies and loot off of people the guards have killed. I'm going to unload all this copper. It looks like it's selling for about $1.73 a piece. That's not, like, a ton of money, but it's enough to get us up to $2,500 money, which is pretty good. It's not, like, perfect, but it's something. We can't really afford to buy, like, a whole bunch of equipment or anything just yet, nor do we have the skills to buy said equipment. We may be able to get, like, how much is a leather jacket down here? So a standard grade leather jacket. Every single item in the game has a grade. You can see it in that colored number over there in blue. The grade determines how good it is. And so, like, it's entirely possible in this game for a extremely high-grade leather jacket to be, like, dope beyond all compare when you compare it to other things like hauberks and, like, armor and whatnot. And so anyways, just keep an eye on that. Something like this high-grade leather armor right here would be great. Just be sure you take a look at this entire panel, because it'll tell you what body parts are covered by wearing this gear, and then on top of that, it'll tell you what modifiers it has on various skills. You know, like heavier armor is going to make it harder for you to do dodging. It's going to make it harder for you to stealth. There may be, like, a nerf to, like, your ranged capability if you're trying to run, like, a crossbow character. Just keep an eye on that kind of stuff. But either way, we're looking pretty good right now as far as starting on out. These properties are for sale inside of town. Anytime you see a wrecked building, you can buy that building and you can get the materials and you can build it back up and use it as, like, a base of operations if you want to. We are a little bit hungry right now, so I'm going to go over to the bar, I think. Where's the bar at? And I think I'm going to buy some food. Your character eats automatically from any food that might be inside his or her inventory. And so once you have the food, you don't need to, like, manually tell them to eat it or anything else like that. However, you know, ooh, there's lumpia in here, dude. Oof, that lumpia looks good. I'll probably just buy... I mean, the dried meat is the cheapest. We'll get a fish. We'll want to watch out, though. If we have food on us. Those bandits that I was fighting, those were hungry bandits. Hungry bandits aggro you based on whether or not you have food inside of your pockets. Like, their only MMO, or their MMO. The average hungry bandit's only goal is going to be to... Oh, he wants to check my bag. Hold on. Yup, there you go. The only thing your average hungry bandit's going to do is knock you out and search your pockets for food. They're not going to, like, finish you off or kill you or anything else like that. I'm going to get back to making a little bit more money over here. Oh, it looks like my little friends are still laying over here. They're healing gradually. Maybe we'll get some more combat practice in. This is actually like a really fortuitous situation. It's kind of hard to find combats that a new character can handle, and this one just like fell straight into my lap, and so honestly, I want to farm it for a little bit longer. Well, it looks like there's an attack on the town right now by a bunch of hungry boy bandits. I don't know if any of them are going to aggro me. But as you can see, the town guards are rapidly jumping into the fray. They've got crazy cleaving because of those massive greatswords. I don't know if anybody's actually, like, trying to fight me. You already dropped that one, huh? Are you already down? Oh, you're already down. You're just, like, bugged. Oh, no, you're not. Never mind. Fair enough. Let's strip some weapons off these idiots. Just real fast. So that, like, when they get up, they can't continue. Well, I've got a full inventory right now. So it looks like, unfortunately, the bloodbath is not going to be that profitable. However, what they will do is they will try to arrest all these bandits. That guy's trying to crawl away. He got his legs cut off. Oof. Feels bad. Don't mess with the town guards. That's going to be something that doesn't work out for you at all. It's going to be a rough prospect. That guy's trying to get up right there. They arrested that one. I don't even think they have enough jail cells in town to actually arrest all these guys. When they arrest somebody, they always try to bring them back to a jail cell, but sometimes they don't have the jail cell. Did I already eat all my food? Oh, I already ate all my food. All right. Well, I was wondering why my hunger was going down. We may just want to buy a big density of, like, dried meat or something. But this is going to be my final load of copper right here that I'm throwing to the old town. If they want any building materials from me, they're going to have to go get it themselves. We have about 4,000 bucks. That's good. Let's go buy food, and then we'll go buy a backpack, which I think is actually probably one of the first things you should always buy. A backpack and a med kit. Those two are going to be really, really valuable in the early game, so you can heal yourself just in case anything goes wrong. The downside to that is paying for med kits is always kind of a weird choice because, like, you can find med kits on nearly every sort of civilized person in the game. So, like, I always find that after I buy a med kit, I always end up finding, like, a dozen of them laying around on random enemies I've defeated later on in the game. And I have way too many med kits. Just walk around with too many band-aids in my backpack. I also feel like it's bad luck, dude. I feel like bringing a med kit is, like, planning to fail. I don't know. Like, it feels like bad luck to me. It feels a little bit like bad luck. We'll buy, like, 4 of those so that we have food ready to go. We just ate the dried meat, so you can see our hunger is going to go up. The outfitter is over here in this little house in Squin. I'm trying to treat this like a guide for new players, so, like, they can understand the path they need to take on their Kenshi journey. We've leveled up a little bit so far. We're at Strength 3. That's pretty good. Almost Strength 4. We got Blunt 2, Melee 3, Melee Defense 5, Athletics 8, Laboring almost 20. We're not going to impress anybody in any crazy laser-fast ninja duels, but, like, we're moving along. We're on the trajectory. As far as backpacks go, a couple different options inside of here. I'd probably just get a medium backpack. It's only going to cost us $1,500 of our net worth, and it will allow us to carry a lot more stuff on us. So there you go. We've got a little backpack right there. There are specialized backpacks, so there's a ninja backpack, which is basically a medium backpack, but better. It doesn't encumber you nearly as much. There is a trader's backpack that allows you to stack items inside of it, which is actually, it's kind of cool. Like, stacking items in this game is actually sort of a weaponized mechanic. Oh, there's dust bandits over here. Hey, guys, do you want to be my dust bandit friends? Don't move. I don't think they want to be my friend. I think they want to be my enemy. Yep, they're running up on me, and I can see it in their eyes. All right, well, this is what I'm talking about. This is why when you're a new player, you should not go very far from town. I'm going to run over here, and I'm just going to let the guards sort this thing out. If these guys want to fight, they can try it. I don't think it's going to work out, though. Give me your cattens if you want to live. Take it from me, foo. Run! You guys are getting wrecked. Enjoy. I'm going to jump in on this guy over here, and then I'm going to run away. I don't want to take any return fire. I'm okay with, like, opening the first salvo to get, like, some free XP and just kind of cheese some victory here. There we go. There we go. Did I just get hit by something? I believe that I did just get hit by something. All right, so what they're going to do is they're going to try to arrest these guys. We don't want them to do that. We want to loot these guys' gear. We're looking for anything that's higher than shoddy grade. That's really what we want. Like, these right here give you melee defense bonuses. The downside is they only cover your chest. Still, I do think that it's worth taking over the shirt that we've got right there. The armored rag, not... I guess I'll take it. I guess it's fine. We'll take it. They've got a helmet over here. It's only worth like 93 bucks. Their swords are worth 124 apiece, so we'll definitely try to take all of those that we can possibly stack up. And then with their gear, you're looking for anything that's medium grade or high grade. That's like your ultimate priority. Anything medium, there's a standard grade right there. You see what I mean? Standard grade is worth 300 bucks. Fantastic. A high-grade pair of pants worth 1,500 bucks. Standard grade pair of boots right there, 303 bucks. I'll put those on my feet, even though they make me much, much worse. There's a lot of downsides to those boots. Was that the leader? Yeah, that was the boss. That's why he had the best stuff. Sometimes the lower grade guys will have better things, though, too, like those boots right there. That's another 300 bucks. We got ourselves a financial come-up here. We're going to loot this guy real quick. Honestly, chest plate's still worth 300. I'll take it. Pants are still worth 200, so I'll probably take those too. We've got like a whole bunch of loot on us right now, and we're looking pretty good. I probably won't use the helmets. Yeah, I probably won't use the helmets, I don't think. But I think we can fit another chest plate in here, too. With these guys, you should always check up above their names right here. Sometimes it'll say bounty, X amount of money. You can pick these guys up by right-clicking and holding, and you can carry them back to the guard shack and get a bunch of money, like I mentioned earlier. It's a really, really good way to get an early game come-up. This guy's got a crossbow, and he's trying to run for it. How much is the crossbow worth? It's a standard crossbow. It's worth $128. Okay. The actual arrows themselves are worth a decent amount. Standard grade boots. They're going to make me feel conflicted, aren't they? There we go. So we've kind of got it sorted out. I'll pick up everything that I possibly can, but not bad. Not bad at all. We could technically take that for a little bit of extra money. And let's take it. I mean, this was an easy peasy come up. Oh no, dude. I got stabbed apparently at some point during the wild and moving melee. Feels bad. I'm missing chest. It's slowly getting worse. My chest is rotting off my chesticle. Gross. Oh, where did this guy go, dude? We got plenty of time to make some money out here. Let's do it. Okay, the bloodbath is over, and I have managed to loot most of the bandits, and we're actually up by like 8,000 monies right now. Another good new player tip for Kenshi is in the top of this building right here, the middle floor. There's training dummies that allow you to get up to like level 20 training. You can sneak in there and use them, and if you don't get caught, they're a fantastic resource for getting your character up to a level where they can actually like fight. Like they're actually like a threat to like not like dust bandits, probably, but definitely a threat to hungry bandits. We can also get crew. If you go to any bar in the game, including the one that we started at in the hub, you can find characters that you can recruit to your party. I don't know what the maximum party size is, but it's not altogether uncommon to have like 10, 12 people following you around in this game, and they all have character sheets, and they all have equipment, and there's lots of fiddly-diddly things you can do to entertain yourself. I'm thinking now we go on a treasure hunt. That's what I think. I think we go on a treasure hunt. I want to go dive into some ruins and see if I can find anything awesome, but first I have to band-aid my face because it's falling off. So Buckminster Bushido, my man's on the come-up. He's looking quite a bit more equipped than he was previously. I don't know where... Like, I don't know what this helmet's made out of. It looks like they just kind of rolled it off the front of, like, some Mad Max vehicle. But hey, I'll take it. We're going to head out in this direction like we were going to do a minute ago before we were so rudely interrupted by dusty bandits. But now that the dust has been beat off of them violently, we'll go ahead and head off in this direction because I happen to know where some ruins are, and I think that diving down into them might be somewhat profitable. So there they are. As we come up over the hill, we're headed for that right there. There is a watchtower back behind it. I'm hoping that actually, like, so from our weight right now, we've got like a moderate weight cap. I'm actually really hoping that this will make it such that we train our strength just while we're, like, moving around. I don't know if we're actually getting XP right now, though, in strength. I think we're going to need a little bit more weight. That's one of my favorite things to do is just strap a new character with, like, 900 pounds worth of gear and then just make them march lockstep with everybody else until they have, like, 20 or 30 strength. So in this gear, our strength actually is slowly training, and that's important because you want to have really good strength. This game has different fighting styles, different weapons, all that kind of stuff. You should definitely play around with them. Hey, we got some chainmail over here. I love this ruin. I always come to this ruin like a day or two after I start a playthrough because there are some real goodies over here. Just watch out because there are bandits that occasionally like circle around this place, and this is really the only entrance to this area. Oof, some major frame chuggies right now. But we want that chainmail for sure, and we want to look through all this other stuff too. It looks like there's some fabrics right there. I'll probably take those. So he got the chainmail. Let's grab the fabrics. I essentially want to grab everything from these ruins that I can possibly sell before we go. It looks like the chainmail, we automatically put it on. It is standard grade chainmail. It's worth 8,100 cats, and it gives you pretty good coverage and resistance to just about everything but blunt. So I'll take it. Now there's some tools laying over here. We'll see if we can grab those. There we go. Let's come check this building over here. So there's fragment axes. Fragment axes are a two-handed weapon. I'm not totally sure that we even have the inventory capacity to pick up one of them. We can try. There's no guarantee it's going to be valuable, though, because it looks like they're shoddy grade. The plank is also a two-handed weapon. It's like a giant two-handed buster sword. But I definitely want those iron plates right there. Those will absolutely have some kind of, like, trade value. This place is a mess. They need to, like, hire a new interior decorator, because their old one is, like, failing them. We can actually fit that inside of our inventory, and each one is worth 300 bucks. Okay, let's pick it all up. All right, so the final tally on loot is a whole bunch of swords that are all worth like 300 bucks a pop. We got a whole bunch of armor that's worth anywhere from 500 to 2,000. We got some armor plating over here that's worth about 500. We got a ration pack, which should allow us to feed ourselves for a little bit. The downside to this scavenging exploration mission is that we are now hideously overweight and we are incredibly slow. What's going on over here? Somebody's fighting. Who's fighting? Oh, the guards just beat up a skin spider. Those are spiders that flay off your skin and wear it. In case you were wondering, there's all kinds of bad stuff in this game that you don't want to run into. You will eventually be strong to contend with all of it, but now is not that time. So I would just keep your head down and let the tough guys take care of these problems for you. Because that's what they're here for. That's why they're town guards, and that's why you're not a town guard. Where did they drop that skin spider at? We need to harvest the skin spider. Otherwise, it will come back to life when it recovers, and it will eat us. So yeah, the same rules that apply for human characters in this game apply to animals. And so you gotta harvest them, otherwise they won't die. They'll just lay there on the ground until they recover. But if you come in and you harvest their tusks or you harvest their hide, it officially, like, issues a coup de grace and kills them. I gotta walk all this stuff back to base. I can't guarantee that we're gonna make it. But if we do, we've got a pretty sizable payday coming, so let's see how it goes. Well, we made it back to town, and what's even better is... Why is this person mad at me? Oh, maybe I walked up in his house. So anyways, what's even better about that is that we leveled up to 10 strength, which is actually pretty decent. That's not bad. Like, 10 strength is good for, like, this phase of the game. Like, we're not going to be winning any, like, you know, curling bicep contests, but we are pretty strong by comparison to, like, this guy right here has 58 strength. Okay, we're not as strong as he is. I was going to show off my muscles, but, like, how about the shopkeeper? There we go. The shopkeeper has 18 strength, and she's a race that's, like, naturally way stronger than human. So, like, you know, we're pretty strong for, like, a human guy civilian right now. We're, you know, we work out. We work out a little bit, dude. We work out a little bit. We really like to heft the bar a little bit, you know what I mean? We like to keep it tight. And there it is. We're now sitting on 15,000 cats after that one little expedition out to some ruins. There is loot out there. There is stuff to acquire if you go and look for it. But anyways, I'll give you my thoughts on Kenshi. Kenshi is more than likely the most truthful sandbox in the history of games. Like, there's not a lot of other titles outside, like, the X3 games that really allow you to reshape the world in your image quite like Kenshi does. It's a game that really doesn't have boundaries, it doesn't have rules, it doesn't have goals, it doesn't have quests, it doesn't have a narrative. The only thing that there is what emerges naturally, and it will emerge naturally. I mean, during the course of a playthrough, it's entirely possible that you'll be crippled permanently, install a prosthetic robot part to fix it. Getting the money together for that robot part will be a quest of its own. You may get beaten down and captured and sold into slavery. You'll spend weeks of your life in a cage plotting how you're going to escape. You'll get away. You'll meet some friends. You'll make a town. You'll convert an army, hunt for bounties, work for or against the factions that exist in the post-apocalyptic world. Like, there's so much stuff to do in this low-budget game. And it's managed to pull off something unique and really welcome in the indie world, which is like a dangerous setting where you aren't the hero. You're just some guy. That may not sound appealing, but I think that inherent difficulty curve of not being a hero with a bunch of bonuses and whatnot creates a struggle that the magic of Kenshi is really made out of. It's a lonely game. You're going to spend your time wandering just through the wasteland, listening to a quiet shamisen on the dusty breeze as you walk really, really carefully from place to place, trying to eke out a meager living amongst the denizens of the destroyed world. And while its development is done, there is a huge amount of mods available that tailor and overhaul the gameplay in really fantastic ways. I guess I should say there are. There's no reason to abandon grammar at this point. Saying that this is a game that you can really pull hundreds of hours out of is really an understatement. If the solitary nastiness of the post-apocalyptics in Kenshi really, really bites you with its addictive nature, this is a game that can well and truly destroy your free time before you realize it. I personally have put like 300 hours into the Steam branch, and that doesn't even count all the hours that I played on Desura when the game came out, like 5-7 years ago. And I've been playing as it develops, and if you hear one thing about this game from me, it's that Kenshi really stands on its own with regards to uniqueness. For some, that's not going to be enough for them to squeeze the trigger, but as a fan of uniqueness, I'm really, really glad that I had the opportunity to watch this game grow and come into itself over the years. So anyways, my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. I'll be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet, but for right now, I'm all out of time. See y'all later, everybody.